I'm on belay, right?
Yes, sir.
This is so crazy. Oh my God. Holy f***ing shit.
Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be taking you up a stellar 4-pitch Sedona classic called Mars Attacks. Pitch 1 is a bolted slab graded at 5'9", but the no-hands Crux felt more 5'10" to me. Pitch 2 is a bolted traverse that goes at 5'8". Pitch 3 is around 120 feet of pure trad climbing that goes around 5'8" as well. Pitch 4 starts with trad and then it goes up to another 5'9" slab section to the top. You may have clicked on this video because of the insane exposure on pitch 2, but I promise the other pitches have a lot of fun to offer too. One of the not so fun things about starting this route is the first bolt is probably about 25 feet off the ground.
It's a little nerve-wracking.
This means I am absolutely risking breaking my ankles if I misjudge any of these footholds and they happen to break before I get the first bolt.
I don't know. I don't love that. That's also hollow. That's solid.
Most of it's pretty chill, but you do have to make this one committing high foot to get to the bolt. Keep in mind I have nothing preventing me from falling straight to the ground here. In my opinion, this move is the only PG-13 part of the climb, so if it's scaring you or stopping you from doing this climb, I just bring a stick clip to protect that one move and then maybe drop it down to your belayers so they could store it in a bag. You could argue the pitch 2 is PG-13, but you're not risking breaking any bones if you fall on the traverse. You're just going to have a hard time getting back on the wall.
Yeah, I see a dish here I can use. So friction up to this dish, and then I think I can just walk up this part. Famous last words, I'm going for a ride.
As you might have guessed, this is the crux of pitch 1. It's essentially a no-hands friction section where you're trusting these little variations in the rock with your feet. You really don't have any hands coming up this, but luckily it's just a couple moves. It's fairly well protected by that bolt, so it's pretty safe.
That was tough.
This is another tricky part, but you do have some decent crimps up above. It's just very tiny foot chips and very tiny hands, but overall I find this section to be easier than the last section. Just go ahead and drop a cam in the limestone band to protect this last move to the anchor and you're golden.
Your foot, keep the heel. Perfect.
The start of pitch 2 is actually super spooky.
Oh my God, dude.
You get over here and there's just like a chimney where the ground just cuts away and you have to cross this chasm.
This is terrifying. I'm on belay, right? Okay. One of those times I just gotta check, you know?
We definitely did our partner checks, but there's every once in a while the exposure gets so high that I just like, my brain is just like, all right, did you tie in? Did you remember? Like, are you safe right now? So I just double check everything real quick to make myself feel better.
Woo. 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 Woo.
There is a pretty large rail for you to kind of shimmy your feet along for most of this traverse. I think the crux of this pitch kind of is just the sustained nature of it. Sometimes the feet drop away, sometimes there's bulges that force your body out, the hands are in all different positions and angles. There's hands and feet everywhere. It's just kind of figuring out the creative movement and climbing slow and deliberately enough to make sure that you're not burning energy and you don't pump out.
Oh, there's some like really high handholds.
Here's one of those bulges I was talking about. This is probably the sketchiest one.
Oh my God.
Kind of just swung my body around to some kind of crappy feet to get the clip. Just keep in mind, I do cut out a lot of indecision and the time I'm taking to kind of figure out my body movement. I think this pitch took me 11 minutes to lead, but in total, this edited footage is around 2 or 3 minutes long. If you're not subscribed yet, you should probably think about doing that because I'm making my rounds on all the Sedona classics, and up next we've got Oak Creek Spire, which includes a jump, so stay tuned for that one.
Joel, off belay.
Inside.
Yikes.
From this position, here's a pretty good video of Devil's Bridge, which is just across the valley from where we've been climbing. You can see all the people lining up to get pictures of the Devil's Bridge. This pitch has a super fun, engaging hand crack start. It's not terribly difficult because there are good feet every now and then. I do hear it goes at 5:13 if you forget to unclip your PAS.
Your PAS is in.
Okay, hold on. If you can unclip that for me.
Yeah, one sec.
Let me get solid. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Good catch. It's all right. I just wanted the extra challenge.
Alright.
I spent a lot of time down low bumping cams because from all the beta that I read, it was talking about how you needed 2s, 3s, and 4s for later on in the pitch, except the issue with that was that down low, that was the exact size that I needed, and so I spent a lot of time kind of getting the 2 up as high as I could and then back cleaning the 3 and 4. So I managed to get out of the start section just leaving a 2 and a 4. So now I have an extra 2, 3, and 4 to use up higher.
Holy. This is really cool. Finally, a number 1. That's what I've been waiting for.
Alright, so we are getting up towards the crux, one of the cruxes of pitch 3. It's this little off-width, so I'm taking time to really protect this section before the off-width because I know it's going to get kind of hard in about 5 or 6 feet. So I'm just getting lots of pro in. It's been kind of a cruise up until this point, so.
Might be a good spot for the big bro.
I actually found a spot to put my unexpanded big bro. Typically, you would expand this piece out into a larger crack and then tighten a collar down so that it doesn't slip, but I was able to fit it perfectly as is into a crack and just kind of yank down on it.
Flares.
I think one of the things I really love about outdoor climbing is the creativity that the rock kind of demands from you. It's something you don't really find in a gym super often.
Taking wing. I'm out of alpine draws, folks. Apologies for using a sport draw. Gotta do it.
Like there's no labeled holds outside and you don't really find anything shaped like this in a gym.
Amazing. It's so good.
Pitch 4, I'm going to skip over some of this unnoteworthy trad climbing. It's not sketchy, it's not difficult, it's easy to protect, so I'm just going to skip through it.
I think I'm almost to the crux, but it doesn't look too bad. Famous last words.
Okay, so we're getting back into some of the slab climbing at the end here. So similar to pitch 1, not nearly as hard in my opinion. The crux There's always little crimps and hands, whereas on pitch 1, sometimes it was hands-free. This right here is probably the actual crux. Kind of a sideways right foot up to a really high crimp, and that's pretty much it. The top out here might sketch some people out, but basically there's no bolts up to the top, but it gets pretty low angle pretty fast, so you're kind of just walking up this face up to the anchor. So I went ahead and brought Joel up and then had him just walk directly over. Our rappel anchor's off to the right here. Had him put me on belay so I could come join him. I was already feeling kind of nervous on this rappel for some reason. It was a super tall, super exposed rappel. Also, rappelling down an unknown route, you don't know the condition of the anchors, you don't know where the anchors are. I think that adds a little anxiety to the situation too. And there was that case of the Sedona anchor blowing a few years ago. Kind of had that in the back of my mind. So it was right about here that I spotted an anchor, which I thought was the anchor that I would be going to transition. And I also noticed that my rope ends didn't really look like they were going to reach. And so I was like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, the beta said that this is a rope stretcher, so I'm just going to keep going down. I'm sure the rope stretch is just going to get me to the anchor, no problem. So it was right about here that it kind of dawned on me that it definitely would not reach. And I was totally panicking internally until this random anchor appeared.
Oh my god. Holy f***ing shit. Jesus. That scared the shit out of me.
Thankfully, this anchor appeared kind of out of nowhere under this little rock shelf. I mean, I do have the training to get out of this situation. Basically, you just have to ascend 35 meters back up your rope, but it just kind of gave me like a little mini heart attack because I was just already feeling very exposed and just hanging out in space like this at the very end of your 35-meter rope. No real danger here. It was just, you know, a little spooky. So if you brought two 60-meter ropes, you can actually just tie them together and skip this next anchor. You can get all the way to the ground. But since we just brought the 70, we kind of had to do this super awkward swing anchor transition. It was incredibly awkward. I think it's probably worth it to not have to bring the extra rope, but you know, it's really up to you. If you made it this far in the video, I just want to say I really appreciate you. I would love to hear from you in the comments, any sort of feedback that you have, positive or negative. I love talking about just all things climbing, so definitely feel free to leave a comment. I'm kind of just working through Sedona right now, working through all the 9s, and then soon probably be looking at the low 10s, and that's where things are going to get real spicy. So thanks so much for watching. Crazy you made it all the way through this video, but thank you. See you in the next one.